Welcome to my channel where we cover the lore of Final Fantasy XIV. We cover the stories both big and small, the epic and the cute, the silly and the tragic. I hope you all enjoy the ride, and welcome to the Chronicler of Lore. At the Arcanist Guild, Thurbergine has gotten a request from the Sons of St. Coinoc for some assistance from an Arcanist, and they requested you by name since they know you faced Ifrit. The researcher is Emitra, and she's out in Gridania waiting for you. She's a member of the Sons of St. Coinoc, which is a Charlian group that hunts the lost knowledge of the Allegan Empire, and they found something out in Mordona that talks about ancient Allegan mages called summoners. Apparently they had the ability to draw on the essence of primals and create smaller versions of their own, ones that work for them. If that skill could be mastered, it might be the first step toward putting an end to the battles with the primals. But the problem is, the only way to summon the tame primals is to capture the essence of the Beast Tribes version, which means someone has to beat them in a fight first. That makes the Warrior of Light one of the few people who could actually learn the skill, which is why Ashtola's younger sister called on you in the first place. The question of whether or not you actually wanted to become a summoner was never really in question, because who wouldn't want to summon primals and have them try to murder other people for a change? So you follow Emitra out to southern Thanalan to go through the first summoning ritual called the Austerities of Flame, which you should already have an idea about what you're gonna face just by the name. Based on some of the records they found, the ancient summoners would perform their rituals in the areas that were more attuned to the specific element of the primal they wanted to summon, since those were the only places where shifting the ether was even possible. So the desert would be the perfect place to try to tame your old friend Ifrit. After taking the soul crystal that has the memories of long dead summoners in it, Emitra guides you on how to summon Ifrit because, while you fought versions of him before, calling him in any form is new, probably because it's a little stupid since even though you're summoning him, he's gonna try to kill you. While this avatar of Ifrit isn't nearly as powerful as some of the other versions you've faced, it does take both you and Emitra to overpower it and bend it to your will, allowing you to gain the power of the Ifrit Egi and resurrect the ancient art of the summoners. The term Egi translates into pure, or the essence of, which means what you've tamed is a pure form of Ifrit's raging fires, meaning you can summon it and make it scald your enemies like it has done to you time and time again. Since you succeeded in that first step, the Warrior of Light has officially earned the title of Summoner, but to truly resurrect the art, you'll need to master more Egis, and the next one Emitra wants you to tame is Titan. There's a spot in the North Shroud that has a large amount of Earth Ether because of how the Calamity changed the layout of the land there. So it's the perfect place to summon Titan. Just like before, you managed to summon a Titan Egi, and as you should have expected, it tries to beat you to death. It's a bit more powerful than the Ifrit one, but you and Emitra managed to overpower it, giving you control of another Egi. However, the celebration of your victory is cut short when a very weirdly dressed man attacks you. He seems to know about summoning, and he's after a treasure that he thinks you have. And instead of explaining himself, he just decides to kill you and take the thing that he's not even sure you have. But things get a bit more interesting when he summons an Ifrit Egi of his own, revealing that the man is a summoner too. He's strong, but he's not able to beat the both of you even when he unleashes the full power of his Ifrit. It can't break through your Titan shield, so he leaves instead of wasting any more time fighting you. Instead of trying to follow the crazy summoner, the Warrior of Light and Emitra head back to Gridania. Fighting a crazy summoner for a treasure that you supposedly have was not a part of Emitra's plan. But you getting control of the Titan Egi made the trip worthwhile, and you got to see just how powerful its defensive abilities were. Which is going to be needed in the future because she's going to talk to the Sons of St. Coinoc to see if they can find out anything about the crazy summoner, because he's definitely going to attack you again. It doesn't take long for her to find out a little about the guy once she runs through the records of the people who have beaten Ifrit in the past. The list was longer than you might think, but after doing a little process of elimination, she thinks the man is named Tristan. He used to be registered as a member of the Mortal Flames, but there was no information on how he became a summoner, or why he might want to kill you. But whatever the reason, Emitra won't stand for someone using the summoner arts to cause chaos. What he's doing could put a bad mark on the names of summoners, and may even cause the art to get outlawed altogether just like necromancy, so she wants to hunt Tristan down ASAP. With a little digging, she found out that one of Tristan's old war buddies lives in Little Alamigo, so she wants you to go and talk to him so you can find out what you can about Tristan. Apparently Tristan's already gotten to his old comrade first and told him to expect you, so he has a group of people there ready to kill you. The way he talks, it doesn't seem like Tristan told him the truth about why you were there, so you're forced to deal with his hired hands and head back to Emitra to tell her the bad news. After you tell her what's happened, she's almost positive that Tristan told the man that you were tempered by a Ifrit and hunting him because of that. That was a brilliant move, which means the man isn't as crazy as you thought. He's planning something, but there's still no telling what it is. But he does see you as a threat to those plans, otherwise he wouldn't have gone to those lengths to kill you. On a little bit of a better note, Emitra did decipher a little more of the Allagan text talking about different ways to enhance your summoning abilities. That's a better way to spend your time, because without knowing what Tristan is planning, chasing him will constantly leave you behind. But he thinks you have something that he wants, so he will eventually come after you again, which might be bad since he wants to kill you and all that. But you gotta work with what you have. Fortunately, the Sons of St. Cornoc have found a set of ancient summoner armor that was made during the time of the Allagan Empire, for the sole purpose of enhancing the power of summoners. Rambros was the one supervising the Sun's expedition, so he'll be the one to decide if you can actually have the armor or not, so it's off to Mordona you go. Rambros is actually curious to see what the gear will do when it's worn by someone who's trained in the summoner arts, but his team has put a lot of work into finding the ancient armor, and they won't give it up without some type of payment for their efforts. There are a lot of Allagan constructs called Mirror Knights out and about in the area, making life kinda hard for the excavators. If you can clear some of those out, they should hand over their armor without any complaints. He's not wrong, the things are attacking the researchers, and when you get rid of them, they are more than willing to hand over the armor. The fact that they get to see summoner combat arts up close helps make the trade even more worthwhile. With the 4 pieces of the ancient armor that the Suns found in hand, you head back to Gridania where Emitra notices something. The Allagan armor is almost identical to what Tristan wore. So your item level should be even, meaning the winner of your next fight will be based on skill, which means you need to upgrade your arsenal with another primal, Garuda. Emitra can't even imagine an Eggy of Garuda considering how unpredictable the wind primal is, but if you can get that power it'll definitely be useful, once Emitra finds a good spot to summon the Lady of the Vortex, that is. That place turns out to be the floating city of Nim, which is obviously dominated by Wind Ether. You've had enough practice manifesting the Eggy primals by now, so summoning Garuda is pretty easy. Taming her, as you might have expected, is not. But you and Emitra take her down and the primal's powers are added to your own. Even she didn't expect you to be as good of a summoner as you are, but your skills make you a valuable research assistant, so she wants you to practice with your abilities while she searches for Tristan. When you see her next, she's frantic because some of the members of the Sons of St. Cornoc have been murdered by a black-robed attacker. That has to be Tristan, and since he's gotten bold enough to make an open attack on the Suns, you and Emitra head to Mordona to see if you could find out where he went after the attack. That way you can stop him before he does anything else. The Suns had been in the middle of celebrating because they'd found an Allagan soul crystal that belonged to a summoner. That was when Tristan appeared and told them to hand over the crystal. When they refused, he attacked. He took the stone and headed off toward the singing shards. The surviving researchers are upset and they want you to kill the man if you can for what he's done, something that I am more than willing to do. So the treasure Tristan wanted was your soul crystal, but since you've gotten stronger, it was easier to get the crystal from the Suns instead of you. Emitra had already figured that out, but she didn't want to say anything until she was positive. You know, pretty much the same stuff her sister does. There's still the question of why he wants the other Allagan relics, but you'll ask him once you catch him. So the two of you race off to the singing shards, hopefully to catch Tristan before he gets away. You arrive in time to see him giving the soul crystals to a black mask wearing Ascian, who says that he will draw the memories of the ancient summoners and the essence of an elder primer out of them for Tristan as payment for the artifacts. True to his word, the Ascian pours the power into Tristan. He gets the power he was after, but making a deal with the Ascians never ends well. That doesn't matter to him. He would do anything to get the power to destroy the beast tribe so they'll never be able to summon primals again. But first he'll take your soul crystal from you, and he'll use his new Eggy to do it. The Eggy of Belias. Despite the power he got from the Ascian, Tristan can't beat you and Emitra. Even though he's been defeated, he still refuses to give up on his mission. He wants the primal worshippers dead as payback for what happened to his brother. Tristan's brother had been tempered by a Ifrit, and since there was no cure for tempering, he was forced to kill him. And because of that, he wants all primals gone, permanently, and he was willing to do anything to accomplish that goal. But unfortunately, he didn't have the power to do it, and his last attack destroys him entirely. Emitra finds it a bit ironic that you were all technically working toward the same goal, and if Tristan had simply talked to you instead of trying to murder you, there was a good chance you both would have joined him. but there's no point in worrying about that now, because the Ascian who Tristan was dealing with is still out there, and he will definitely be causing you problems in the future. This concludes the first part of the Summoner storyline. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. And if you want to buy me a coffee for my work, sign up to become a member of the channel. Until next time, guys, later.